Let's talk about the fat you can't actually see. Not the soft stuff under your skin. The fat sitting behind your abdominal wall, wrapped around your organs, deep inside your body where no amount of crunches can reach it. Visceral fat. And here's the thing. This isn't passive tissue. It's not just sitting there quietly. Visceral fat behaves more like a hormone-secreting organ than a storage depot. It pumps out inflammatory compounds around the clock. It signals your adrenal glands. It talks to your liver. It keeps your metabolism tuned to storage mode even when you're eating less and moving more. That's why it feels stubborn, because biologically, it kind of is. But here's where it gets interesting. Visceral fat responds powerfully to hormonal signals, not just calories, not just gym hours, hormonal signals. Specifically, cortisol and insulin are the two biggest levers. When they're chronically elevated, your body treats visceral fat like an emergency reserve it refuses to touch. When they're dialed in correctly, the biology works in your favor. And the window where those signals are most receptive? Right after you wake up. For roughly the first 60 to 90 minutes after waking, your body is doing something remarkable. Cortisol is naturally peaking to pull you out of sleep. Your liver is wrapping up its overnight processing after 8 to 12 hours without food. Your digestive system is empty, which means whatever you put in gets absorbed fast and hits your biology hard. This is not marketing language. This is just physiology. So, the 3 steps in this protocol are specifically designed around that window and around what happens at night while you sleep. Because visceral fat loss doesn't just happen during the day. A significant portion of fat breakdown actually occurs overnight during deep sleep, driven by growth hormone. Which means the morning and the evening both matter. Let's go through all 3. Step 1. The morning drink. Before coffee, before your phone, before anything. Mix 500 to 600 milliliters of room temperature filtered water with the fresh juice of half a lemon, about a quarter teaspoon of sea salt or pink Himalayan salt, and a small pinch of cayenne pepper or freshly grated ginger. Drink it on an empty stomach. Now let's talk about why each ingredient actually does something, because this isn't just a wellness vibe. Fresh lemon juice delivers vitamin C and bioflavonoids, which act as antioxidants and support your adrenal glands. The adrenals are what produce cortisol. Supporting them first thing in the morning helps create a healthy cortisol curve, a sharp peak that rises to wake you and then drops quickly, instead of staying elevated all morning, dragging your metabolism into defensive storage mode. The salt. This one surprises people. But electrolytes, specifically sodium and trace minerals, send a stability signal to your adrenal glands. When electrolytes are low, your adrenals work harder, producing more aldosterone and cortisol to compensate. A small amount of quality salt first thing essentially tells your stress system, "We're okay. Stand down." The cayenne or ginger activates thermogenesis. Capsaicin from cayenne and gingerol from ginger both stimulate receptors that increase heat production in the body, which nudges your metabolism slightly toward burning rather than storing. And because your stomach is empty, all of this hits your bloodstream within minutes. Your liver picks up the signals, bile production gets a gentle push, lymphatic drainage in the abdominal area starts moving. Most people notice reduced morning bloating within the first few days. Not because something magic happened, because the cortisol signal that was keeping fluid and fat locked in place started to loosen. Step 2. Within 90 minutes of waking, eat at least 30 grams of complete protein before any carbohydrates. 5 eggs, a large bowl of Greek yogurt with pumpkin seeds, grilled chicken or fish, something with full amino acid coverage. Here's what this does hormonally. Protein, especially leucine-rich complete protein, triggers satiety hormones, including peptide YY and GLP-1, which suppress appetite strongly and keep insulin low and stable. Compare that to starting the day with toast, cereal, or a sweetened coffee drink, where insulin spikes fast, fat storage enzyme activity goes up, and hunger returns inside 2 hours. The leucine specifically activates mTOR signaling, which tells your body that resources are available. That shifts the priority away from breaking down muscle and toward mobilizing stored fat for energy. Visceral fat is particularly responsive to this shift because it's highly sensitive to both cortisol and insulin levels. When both cortisol and insulin are elevated, visceral fat barely moves. When both are stabilized in the morning, the enzyme that releases stored fat, hormone-sensitive lipase, gets more room to work. That's not a miracle. That's just removing the hormonal roadblock. If possible, pair this protein meal with a short walk in natural sunlight. 8 to 12 minutes is enough. Morning light exposure helps set your circadian rhythm, which regulates the timing of cortisol, melatonin, and growth hormone throughout the day. All three matter for visceral fat. It takes almost no time, and it costs nothing. By the end of the first week of these two steps together, most people report fewer cravings, more consistent energy, and a noticeably less heavy feeling in their midsection. Not because fat vanished in 7 days, but because the hormonal environment that was locking it in place started to shift. Step 3. The evening wind down, 2 hours before bed. This one is short, about 10 minutes total, but skipping it means leaving a significant portion of your overnight fat-burning potential on the table. Here's the physiology. After roughly 4 p.m., your body's cortisol is supposed to be falling. As cortisol drops, melatonin rises, and growth hormone starts its nightly work. Growth hormone is one of the most powerful natural signals for breaking down visceral fats specifically. It pulses during deep sleep, and it directly targets deep abdominal tissue. The problem is that most evenings, people do exactly the wrong things. Bright screens, heavy late meals, scrolling through stressful content, stimulants, all of these keep cortisol elevated into the night. When cortisol stays high, the fat storage enzyme LPL stays active in visceral fat cells. Growth hormone gets blunted. Your body spends the night in storage and stress mode instead of repair and release mode. The fix is 2 simple things. First, a 5-minute slow walk. Not intense, deliberately slow. There's research on something called optic flow, the visual experience of moving forward through space, which has a measurable calming effect on the amygdala, your brain's threat detection center. A slow forward walk, even just around your home or outside for a few minutes, quiets that system and lowers stress hormones. It also gently moves lymphatic fluid through your abdominal cavity. Then, 5 minutes of gentle abdominal lymphatic massage lying on your back. Light, clockwise circular strokes across your lower belly, following the natural direction of the colon. This isn't aggressive, it's slow, gentle pressure. What it does is mechanically stimulate the lymphatic vessels in the abdominal area, flushing out inflammatory waste products and excess fluid that can keep visceral fat tissue inflamed and metabolically resistant. Inflammation is one of the reasons visceral fat is so stubborn. The fat cells themselves become inflamed, which makes them harder to break down. Moving lymphatic fluid helps reduce that local inflammation over time. When these conditions are in place at night, growth hormone can reach its natural peak during deep sleep, specifically working on visceral tissue. Insulin sensitivity improves for the next morning. The positive cycle from steps 1 and 2 doesn't get interrupted. People who add this step consistently report waking up with a physically flatter stomach, noticeably less bloating, and higher energy levels, because their body actually spent the night doing what it's supposed to do. So here's the full picture of what these 3 steps create together. Morning drink on an empty stomach, lowers cortisol, supports liver, activates thermogenesis, primes absorption. 30 grams of protein within 90 minutes, stabilizes insulin, activates fat mobilization signals, kills cravings before they start. Evening wind down, 10 minutes, drops cortisol for sleep, clears lymphatic inflammation, unlock overnight growth hormone activity. 3 different mechanisms, 3 different times of day, 1 consistent daily loop. The frustrating part is that none of this is exotic. It's not expensive. It doesn't require a gym membership or a complicated meal plan or a supplement stack. The hard part isn't the steps. The hard part is that health content has conditioned people to expect something more complicated, because simple doesn't sell programs. But your body doesn't care about the marketing. It responds to signals. Cortisol too high in the morning, visceral fat stays locked. Insulin spiking at breakfast, fat storage enzymes stay active. Cortisol elevated at night, growth hormone gets blunted. The fat doesn't move. Fix the signals, and the biology follows. What most people notice over a consistent 30 days, the first week brings reduced bloating and steadier energy. By week 2, clothes start fitting differently around the waist. By week 4, the midsection is physically softer, digestion is smoother, sleep is deeper, and waist measurements have typically changed in a meaningful way. These are not overnight results. They're results from consistently giving your body the right hormonal instructions every day at the right times. That's different from a crash diet, and it's why the changes tend to hold. One important note: if you have a medical condition, are on medication that affects cortisol or insulin, or have symptoms that concern you, talk to a qualified healthcare professional before making changes to your routine. These steps work with your body's natural rhythms, but individual health situations vary. Now, here's something worth thinking about. If you've tried everything before and visceral fat hasn't moved, the answer probably wasn't more effort. It was probably the wrong target. Calories aren't the only variable. Cortisol is a variable. Insulin timing is a variable. Overnight growth hormone is a variable. Lymphatic inflammation is a variable. Address those, and the biology that was working against you starts working with you. Which of these 3 steps is the one you're least consistent with right now? Drop it in the comments. It's usually the most useful place to start, and I read every single one. If this breakdown was useful, subscribe to The Hidden Logic. Every video here goes into the actual mechanism, not just the what, but the why your body responds the way it does.